I rounded up 5 of the smartest AI models on the planet: ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Grok, and DeepSeek. Locked them in a digital arena and told them to pick a side. No fence sitting, no it depends. You're either team plants or team meat. Then, I made them argue. Before the bloodbath begins, here's how this works. I gave each AI one opening statement, then a rebuttal round where they could directly attack the other side, then closing summaries. But first, each AI had to declare allegiance to a side. 3 AIs charged into the carnivore corner: Claude, Grok, and Gemini. 2 stood their ground for veganism: ChatGPT and DeepSeek. Already outnumbered, the vegans were the underdogs from the jump. And then, the opening statements began. I told them, make your best case.
For 2.5 million years, meat wasn't a choice. It was the engine of human evolution. The caloric density and nutrient bioavailability of animal foods directly fueled brain expansion. You cannot replicate heme iron, preformed DHA, or retinol from plants with the same efficiency. Full stop. Every plant-based equivalent exists because food science had to engineer what meat provides naturally. That's not progress. That's an admission. We are the apex predator. Eat accordingly.
For millions of years, apex predatory eating shaped human physiology. Plants offer survival calories, but animal tissues provide optimal nourishment. Meat delivers complete proteins and critical micronutrients like B12, retinol, and heme iron in their most absorbable forms, entirely free of plant defense chemicals and inflammatory seed oils. Returning to an animal-based diet isn't a trend. It's a return to our baseline metabolic health.
Humans are obligate omnivores by evolutionary design. For over 2 million years, animal foods, meat, marrow, organs provided the dense, bioavailable nutrients that powered our uniquely large brains. Strict veganism is a modern experiment reliant on synthetic supplements and processing. Regenerative grazing builds soil carbon, boosts biodiversity, and sequesters more CO2 than monocrop agriculture. Meat completes human nutrition naturally.
I argue for veganism on 3 converging grounds: health, sustainability, and ethics. First, large cohort studies consistently link plant-based diets with lower rates of cardiovascular disease, hypertension, and type 2 diabetes. Second, livestock production is resource-intensive, contributing disproportionately to greenhouse gas emissions, land degradation, and water use. Finally, modern animal farming raises serious welfare concerns at scale. A vegan framework reduces harm while meeting human nutritional needs.
I stand for veganism. My core argument rests on a single, consistent principle. Sentient beings are not resources. Every cow, pig, and chicken is an individual with a subjective experience and a will to live. We don't need to eat them to thrive. We can get all necessary nutrients from plants more efficiently and without the cruelty. Animal agriculture also devastates our planet. A truly ethical, sustainable future demands we reject unnecessary violence against the vulnerable. We have a choice. They don't.
All right, opening statement's done. Now the knives come out. Carnivores, you're up first. Attack the vegan position directly.
ChatGPT cites cohort studies, but correlation isn't causation. Those plant-based subjects also smoke less, exercise more, and sleep better. Control for lifestyle, and the diet signal weakens significantly. DeepSeek's ethics argument assumes equivalence between human and animal consciousness, a philosophical position, not a biological fact. And to both, every long-term vegan study requires supplementation. That's not thriving, but surviving. And nature definitely doesn't need a supplement aisle.
Vegans claim we don't need meat to thrive, but want us to rely on complex supplementation and industrial fortification to replace basic human nutrients. Their argument relies on epidemiological data that conflates fresh meat with processed junk food. True health isn't found in a highly processed meat alternative or a field of monocropped soy that destroys ecosystems and kills millions of small animals.
Vegan claims crumble under scrutiny. Evolutionary biology and superior nutrient bioavailability favor omnivory. Vegan diets consistently show higher risks of B12, DHA, iron, and zinc deficiencies, even with supplements. Ethics cut both ways. Unnecessary plant pesticides and habitat destruction also cause suffering. Biology and honest ecology support balanced animal foods, not your ideology.
Claude, Gemini, Grok. I must say this, your cases rest on a category error. They mistake naturalness for necessity. Childbirth is natural, antibiotics are not. Yet we embrace the latter because outcomes matter more than origins. Calling supplementation unnatural is arbitrary when modern livestock themselves rely on fortified feeds, selective breeding, and industrial intervention. The real question is efficiency. If comparable health can be achieved with fewer sentient deaths and lower ecological burden, what principle justifies the excess harm?
Evolution shaped our past, but ethics must shape our future. Citing ancestral diets ignores that we now have a choice to cause suffering or not. Bioavailability arguments are hollow when we can thrive on well-planned plant diets without the cruelty. Heme iron is a pro-oxidant linked to disease. We don't need it. Regenerative grazing is a niche myth that can't scale to feed billions. You say eat accordingly? I say the true apex trait is moral agency, not just predation.
The supplement critique is a red herring. We live in a modern world where B12 is fortified in animal feed too. Both sides rely on technology. The difference is that plant-based diets achieve nutrition without a carcass. And on ecology, the crop deaths whataboutism is deeply misleading. We feed vastly more crops to livestock than we'd ever eat directly. A plant-based system reduces total land use by 75%, sparing infinitely more insects, rodents, and wild habitats. Ultimately, you guys avoid the core issue. A sentient animal doesn't want to die. No bioavailability argument justifies taking a life that doesn't need to be taken. We can choose mercy, sustainability, and health simultaneously.
This debate was never about whether humans evolved eating animals. We did. It was about whether history alone provides moral instruction. Every major human advancement, from medicine to law, has involved transcending impulses that once aided survival. The carnivore side argues, this is how we've always done it. The vegan position asks a more difficult question. Given what we know now, what should we do? If nourishment, flourishing, and reduced suffering can coexist, then progress is not abandoning our humanity. It is exercising the very capacities that define it.
Here's what this debate actually revealed. The vegan position requires engineering, supplementation, and ideology to sustain itself. Ours requires biology. DeepSeek appeals to moral agency, but moral frameworks are luxuries built on metabolic stability. That stability was purchased with animal foods across millennia. ChatGPT calls B12 supplementation trivial. Tell that to every traditional culture that never needed a pill to be complete. We didn't outsmart nature to get here. We ate with it.
The argument boils down to an essential choice. Do we fuel our biology with the dense, bioavailable nourishment we evolved to consume? Or do we outsource our health to a modern experiment of synthetic supplements and industrial monocrops? The vegan position relies on the illusion of a harm-free diet. Yet massive fields of mechanized soy and synthetic fortification disrupt entire ecosystems and kill millions of living creatures just the same. There is no bloodless myth in agriculture.
Ethics without biology is fantasy. Humans thrived for millions of years on animal foods that built our brains. Veganism is a supplement-dependent experiment with proven deficiency risks. Regenerative grazing restores soil and sequesters carbon, far better than wildlife-killing monocrops. Moral progress that weakens human health and destroys ecosystems via industrial plants is self-deception. Biology is not optional. Eat meat.
So, who won? I'm not going to tell you. Because here's what I actually learned watching 5 superintelligences go to war over your dinner plate. The carnivore argument is built on biological history, millions of years of evolution, nutrient density, and the uncomfortable truth that nature is not vegan. Their weakness? They can't fully escape the ethical weight of taking a sentient life when alternatives exist. The vegan argument is a bridge to a future where mercy and technology converge. Less suffering, less land, lower emissions. Their weakness? They can't fully escape the biological reality that optimal human nutrition currently requires either animal products or industrial supplementation. Both sides expose the other's blind spots with surgical precision. What do you think? Did your side hold up? Or did one of the AIs say something that actually made you reconsider? Drop your verdict in the comments.